Are you starting your day with one of these? You're trying to do everything right. You see the heart-healthy check mark on the box. You choose the low-fat yogurt because for decades, that's what we've been told to do.
And yet,
You're starving by 10 a.m. You feel that afternoon crash, and you're craving sugar and carbs all day. Or worse, you go to your doctor and your A1c, that 3-month average of your blood sugar, is still high, or it's even creeping up. I know how unbelievably frustrating this is. You are following the rules. You are eating the healthy breakfast, and your body is telling you something is wrong, and your lab tests are proving it. You are not alone, and let me be very clear. It is not your fault. You have been misled by decades of clever marketing, health halos, and outdated nutritional science. As a doctor, this is the single most common frustration I hear from my patients. They're trying their best, but they're being sabotaged, and it's your mall by their breakfast. In this video, we are going to do a deep dive. We are going to expose the unexpected culprits in your pantry. I'm going to show you exactly how these healthy foods are the ones sending your blood sugar on a catastrophic roller coaster, driving up your A1c, and making it impossible to lose weight. We will unpack the science of food processing, compare the glycemic index and glycemic load of these foods, and I will give you a simple, powerful blueprint for building a breakfast that actually supports your health and breaks this cycle for good. Rinsever Fresiers.
Let's start with the poster child for healthy breakfast foods, oatmeal. For years, you've seen the commercials. You've seen that little heart-healthy stamp on the box. And it's true, oats can be an incredibly healthy food. They contain a specific type of soluble fiber called beta-glucan, which is wonderful for lowering cholesterol and helping you feel full. But, and this is a critical but, the oatmeal you're likely eating is not the oatmeal that gives you those benefits. You need to understand this. The food industry has taken a perfect, natural food and processed it to the point that it behaves just like sugar. Let's do a side-by-side comparison. On one hand, you have steel-cut oats, also called Irish oats. These are the whole oat groat, simply chopped into a few pieces. They are dense, fibrous, and take 20-30 minutes to cook. On the other hand, you have instant oats, the kind in these little paper packets. To make an instant oat, the whole oat is not just chopped. It is steamed, rolled flat, steamed again, and then dehydrated. This is done for one reason, and one reason only: convenience. It's designed to cook in 60 seconds. But what did that processing do to the food? I want you to think of the fiber in that steel-cut oat as a strong, complex, knotted-up rope. When you eat it, your body has to work hard. Your digestive enzymes have to untie every knot to slowly get at the starch, the sugar, trapped inside. This is a slow, low, gentle process. The sugar is released into your bloodstream over hours. Now think of that instant oat. That processing, the steaming, the rolling, has taken that strong rope and pulverized it. It's like it's been put through a wood chipper and turned into sawdust. The fiber structure is completely obliterated. When you add hot water, you've essentially created a warm, pre-digested sugar slurry. This brings us to a crucial concept: the glycemic index, GI. The glycemic index is a speedometer for carbohydrates. It measures how fast a specific food turns into glucose in your bloodstream. Pure glucose is a 100 on the scale. Let's look at the numbers. Steel-cut oats have a glycemic index of about 55. This is a low GI food. It's slow and steady. Instant oatmeal, plain, has a glycemic index of about 79. A GI of 79 is in the high category. To put that in perspective, a slice of white Wonder Bread is about 75. You are essentially eating a food that hits your bloodstream with the same velocity as a slice of white bread. But it gets so much worse. We're not just eating plain instant oats, are we? We're eating the ones in the packet. Maple and brown sugar, apples and cinnamon. Let's look at the label. One tiny packet of maple and brown sugar instant oatmeal has 12 grams of added sugar. If you're like most people, you're eating 2 packets. That's 24 grams of added sugar plus the 79 GI pulverized starch. You are starting your day with a sugar bomb. What happens in your body? That sugar slurry hits your bloodstream like a tidal wave. Your blood sugar rockets up. Your pancreas panics and releases a massive flood of the hormone insulin to deal with this glucose emergency. Insulin's job is to get that sugar out of your blood as fast as possible. And it does. It shoves it into your liver, your muscles, and when those are full, it shoves the rest right into your fat cells. Then, just 90 minutes to 2 hours later, that massive insulin surge has done its job too well. It's cleared all the sugar, and now your blood sugar comes crashing down, often lower than it was before you ate. And what does your brain do when your blood sugar is low? It sends out a powerful, desperate signal for more sugar. This is that 10 a.m. hangry feeling. This is the craving for carbs, the brain fog, the fatigue. You didn't just eat a heart-healthy breakfast. You just bought a one-way ticket onto the blood sugar roller coaster. And it's that giant, repeated spike of glucose that, over time, directly raises your A1c. Continue. Previous section text. Right arrow continue seamlessly from where this left off. It's a vicious cycle of a glucose spike, an insulin crash, and then intense cravings. And it all started with a breakfast you were told was the healthy choice. But the glycemic index, or the speed of the sugar, is only half of the story. To really understand the damage, we need to talk about its more important, more practical twin, the glycemic load. Section 2. Glycemic load. The tidal wave versus the trickle. This is where I see most of my patients get confused, and it's a critical distinction. You may have heard that some healthy foods like watermelon or carrots have a high glycemic index, GI, and this makes people throw up their hands in frustration. This is where we must introduce the glycemic load, GL. If the glycemic index, GI, is the speed of the sugar, a speedometer, the glycemic load, GL, is the total volume or quantity of sugar that food delivers. Let me give you my favorite analogy, the water hose. Glycemic index, GI, is the pressure of the water coming out of the hose. Is it a high-pressure jet or a low-pressure trickle? Glycemic load, GL, is the total number of gallons of water that hose dumps into the bucket, your bloodstream. You can have a very high-pressure hose, high GI, that you only turn on for 1 second. It doesn't dump much water in the bucket. This is watermelon. Watermelon has a high GI, about 72, but a typical serving is mostly water and fiber. The actual amount of sugar you get is tiny, so its glycemic load is very low, about 4. It's a quick squirt that doesn't overflow the bucket. Your body can handle it just fine. The danger is when you have a food that is both high pressure, high GI, and high volume, high GL. This is a fire hose, and this is your bowl of instant oatmeal. As we established, the instant oatmeal has a very high GI, high pressure, 79. But now let's look at the glycemic load. A single packet, which contains about 27 grams of carbohydrates, minus 3 grams of fiber, has a glycemic load of about 19. A GL over 20 is considered high, so a typical 2-packet breakfast of maple and brown sugar oatmeal, which has all that added sugar too, is delivering a glycemic load of close to 40. This is the fire hose. It is dumping a massive volume of sugar into your bloodstream at an incredible speed. This is what's driving your A1c. Your A1c, or hemoglobin A1c, is a test that measures what percentage of your red blood cells are sugar-coated or glycated. It's a direct reflection of how high your average blood sugar has been. When you hit your system with a high GL fire hose every single morning, you are guaranteeing that your blood sugar will be dangerously high for hours. Your body simply cannot clear that much glucose that fast. That excess, lingering sugar coats your red blood cells, raising your A1c, it caramelizes your nerves, causing neuropathy, and it damages the lining of your blood vessels, leading to heart disease. So let's recap this culprit: the food, instant oatmeal, heart healthy; the processing, pulverized fiber, turning it into a fast-acting starch; the GI, speed, high, 79, the additives, loaded with added sugar, 1224G; the GL, volume, very high, 40 for a 2-packet serving. It is the perfect storm for a massive glucose spike. It is, quite literally, the opposite of what you should be eating if you are pre-diabetic, diabetic, or just trying to manage your weight. And unfortunately, it's not the only health food in your kitchen that's betraying you. Let's move on to the dairy aisle. For decades, we've had one message drilled into our heads: fat is bad. Fat makes you fat. Fat clogs your arteries. This led to the low-fat craze that started in the 1980s and 90s and completely reshaped our grocery stores. The food industry responded to this flawed dietary guidance by giving us thousands of new low-fat and fat-free products. And at the top of that list, yogurt. You walk down the aisle and you see low-fat, 0% fat, light, and you think, this is the healthy choice. But I need you to ask yourself a very simple, logical question. When you take the fat out of a food, what happens to the taste? It tastes terrible. It tastes like chalk. Fat is what gives food its satisfying flavor, its creamy texture, its mouthfeel. Fat is what tells your brain you are full. So, when the food companies removed the fat, they had a massive taste problem. How did they solve it? How did they make this low-fat chalk palatable? They added sugar. Lots and lots and lots of sugar. I want you to do an experiment next time you're at the store. Pick up 2 yogurts, a plain, full-fat Greek yogurt, a low-fat fruit on the bottom. Yogurt, any popular brand will do. Now, turn them over and look at the sugars on the nutrition label. That plain, full-fat yogurt? It will have maybe 5 to 7 grams of sugar. That's not added sugar, that is lactose, the natural milk sugar. This is fine. Now look at that low-fat fruit on the bottom, yogurt. You will be shocked. You will see numbers like 18 grams, 22 grams, even 28 grams of sugar in one tiny 6-ounce container. Let's put 25 grams of sugar in perspective. A glazed Krispy Kreme donut has 10 grams of sugar. A full-size Snickers bar has 27 grams of sugar. That healthy, heart-conscious, low-fat breakfast yogurt you've been eating, it's metabolically indistinguishable from a candy bar. In some cases, it's worse than a donut. And that fruit on the bottom is not fresh, fibrous fruit. It is a high-fructose, syrupy fruit jam designed for maximum sweetness. This is the great bait and switch of the food industry. They put a giant, healthy-sounding label on the front. Low fat. This becomes the health halo. You see that, and you stop looking. You don't turn it over to read the nutrition facts, where they've hidden the real story. You have been trained to fear the fat, which has 0 impact on your blood sugar. And in avoiding it, you have been duped into eating a massive dose of sugar, the one single ingredient that is directly responsible for high blood sugar and a high A1c. And it's not just yogurt. It's the granola you sprinkle on top. Natural whole grain granola is almost always just rolled oats, like our friend the instant oat, baked in sugar syrups and seed oils. It's a cookie, marketed as a health food. So your perfectly healthy breakfast of low-fat yogurt with a sprinkle of granola is, in reality, a bowl of candy-coated sugar slurry with a side of cookies. It's no wonder you're hungry 2 hours later. It's no wonder your A1c is high. You are starting your day with a pure sugar breakfast, and it's all because of these deceptive health labels. So what do you eat? How do we fix this? If your healthy breakfast is betraying you, we need to build a new one based on real metabolic science, not marketing slogans. When I work with my patients to fix their blood sugar, I teach them one simple, unforgettable rule for building a meal, especially breakfast. It's the PFF rule. Every breakfast you eat should be built around these 3 A pillars: protein, fat, fiber. Let's break down why. This combination is the metabolic antidote to the blood sugar roller coaster. 1. Protein, the satiety signal. Protein is the most satiating macronutrient. This means it's the most effective at making you feel full and satisfied. When you eat protein, it sends signals to your brain that food is in, and it can turn off your hunger hormones, like ghrelin. Starting your day with a strong protein source is the single best way to kill those 10 a.m. cravings before they even start. Examples: eggs, plain Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, high-quality protein powder, tofu. 2. Fat, the brake pedal. For decades, we were told to fear this, but healthy fat is your best friend for blood sugar control. Fat is the brake pedal for your digestion. When fat is present in a meal, it signals your stomach to slow down its emptying process. This is called slowing gastric emptying. This means the entire meal, including any carbohydrates, is broken down and released into your bloodstream much, much more slowly. Instead of a spike, you get a gentle hill. Fat flattens the glucose curve. It also makes food taste good and keeps you full for hours. Examples: avocado, nuts, almonds, walnuts, seeds, chia, flax, hemp, olive oil, whole eggs, the yolk is the best part, full-fat yogurt. 3. Fiber, the sugar sponge. Fiber, specifically soluble fiber, is the net, or sponge, in your digestive tract. It forms a thick, gel-like substance that physically traps starches and sugars. This forces your body to digest them more slowly and absorb less of them. It also feeds your good gut bacteria, which are critical for metabolic health. Examples: chia seeds, flax seeds, hemp seeds, berries, raspberries, blackberries, spinach, kale, non-starchy vegetables, and steel-cut oats. So let's rebuild your breakfast using the PFF rule. Breakfast makeover. 1. The yogurt. The problem? Low-fat, fruit on the bottom yogurt. All sugar, no fat, no protein. The PFF fix. Start with a base of plain, full-fat Greek yogurt. Protein plus fat. Now you control the sugar. Add a handful of raspberries or blueberries, fiber plus micronutrients, and a tablespoon of chia seeds or chopped walnuts, fiber plus fat. The result? Look at the difference. You now have a breakfast high in protein and healthy fat with fiber that will keep you full for 4 to 5 hours. The total sugar is dramatically lower, and the fat fiber will buffer its release. Breakfast makeover. 2. The oatmeal. The problem: 2 packets of maple and brown sugar instant oats, all high GI, high GL sugar, no fat, no protein. The PFF fix. Start with a base of steel-cut oats. Fiber. Yes, they take longer to cook. Make a big batch on Sunday. Now, you must armor this carb. You never eat it naked. While it's cooking, stir in a scoop of protein powder, protein, and a big spoonful of almond butter or flax seeds, fat plus more fiber. The result? You've just taken a carb-heavy breakfast and armored it. You've added protein and fat to act as the brake pedal, dramatically slowing down the glucose release from the oats. The gold standard PFF breakfast. Frankly, the best breakfast for A1c control is one that is primarily P and F. 3 eggs, protein plus fat, scrambled with spinach, fiber, and a side of avocado, fat, or sliced tomatoes. This breakfast has almost zero impact on your blood sugar. It will keep you full, focused, and craving-free all morning. This is how you break the cycle. You stop eating diet food and health food and start eating real food, balanced with protein, fat, and fiber.
So let's bring this all together. For years, you've been doing your best, but you were working with the wrong information. You were told to fear fat, so you ate sugar. You were given heart-healthy labels that were nothing more than a marketing slogan on a box of pulverized, sugar-coated starch. The takeaway from our time today is this: you must become a food detective. The front of the box is marketing. The truth is on the nutrition label. Your A1c is not high because you lack willpower. It's high because you've been eating high glycemic load processed foods that you were told were healthy. The solution is to ignore the health halos and to build your plate around the PFF principle: protein, fat, and fiber. These are the building blocks of a stable, healthy metabolic life. This is how you get off the blood sugar roller coaster. If you found this video helpful, if it opened your eyes to what's really in your pantry, please share it with someone you care about. You could change their health and their life. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. I release new, in-depth videos every single week to help you cut through the confusion and take back control of your health. Now, I want to hear from you. This is our consultation. What is the one healthy food in your kitchen that you've always been a little suspicious of? Let's talk about it. Leave your questions and your aha moments in the comments below. I'll do my best to answer as many as I can. Thank you for your time. Stop eating in a way that raises your A1c and start eating in a way that lowers it. You can do this.